Every NFL team enters a new season with the hopes and dreams of winning a Super Bowl.
The Ravens were the best team in the AFC. They've kind of messed it up in the playoffs, right? I think they're a team on the mission this year.
Let's take a look at 5 NFL teams everyone thinks are contenders and 5 that are more pretender than contender. Contenders, Seattle Seahawks. Alright, let's get the easiest selection out of the way first. The Seahawks are the defending Super Bowl champs, so that alone puts them in the discussion to contend for another Super Bowl title. In 2025, Seattle finished with a 14-3 regular season record that wrapped up first place in the NFC West, first seed in the NFC, and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The Seahawks were able to accomplish that because they possess one of the most dominant and suffocating defenses in the NFL today, and their offense can run and gun with anyone. While the team did lose a few key contributors this offseason, most notably running back Kenneth Walker III, they still have Zach Charbonnet in the backfield and the tremendous wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba. If any team is built to withstand the loss of their starting running back and still be a top contender, it's the Seahawks. The biggest issue potentially threatening this squad is Sam Darnold. The quarterback's first 4.5 seasons as a starter wouldn't make anyone think that he'd lead a team to a Super Bowl title, but he seemed to put things together in the last 2 years. As long as he plays similar to that, the Seahawks should be alright. Pretenders, Green Bay Packers. Outside the NFC North cities, Chicago, Detroit, and Minnesota, the Packers seem to be pretty well liked. It might be because they're the only true locally owned team in the NFL, or maybe it's because we all get a kick out of those silly cheesehead hats, or maybe just an appreciation of the history of the team in Lambeau Field, or heck, just the love of a fan base who will sit shirtless during a game in negative 20-degree weather. Whatever the reason is, the main reason that people like the Packers is because they win. Not just Super Bowls, of which they have won 4, but during the regular season, they're one of the most consistent teams in the NFL, earning playoff appearances in 19 out of the last 25 seasons. However, despite playoff appearances in the last 3 seasons, and most likely another in 2026, the Packers just aren't Super Bowl ready. The offense simply does not have the ability to compete with the big boys. Quarterback Jordan Love has shown himself to be good, but not great. Part of the issue is that he doesn't have the weapons that he needs. A wide receiving core of Christian Watson, Jalen Reed, and Matthew Golden is not scaring many defenses. And at 28 years of age, starting running back Josh Jacobs has definitely seen better days. Contenders, Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are a team that realistically could have been put in either category on our list. I mean, they're coming off a disappointing season in which they finished 8-9 and missed the playoffs for just the second time in 8 years. And as a result of that playoff disappointment, the team also fired longtime head coach John Harbaugh. This team had the looks of one ready for a makeover, but instead, the organization decided to go all in for the 2026 season and beyond. They signed free agent pass rusher Trey Hendrickson to bolster their defensive line and drafted several key players on the offensive line and at wide receiver. This offseason, the Ravens got younger and better, but none of that would really matter without their not-so-secret weapons. Quarterback Lamar Jackson is a 2-time MVP who's a dual threat under center. He has the capability of throwing for 4,000 yards in a season while rushing for 1,000 yards in the same year. He's actually been the team's leading rusher 5 times. When Jackson isn't rushing the ball, defenses have to deal with running back Derrick Henry, who's capable of barreling over opposing players. Any team with that pair will be able to control the ball and time of possession, grinding down opposing defenses. As long as they do that, the Ravens are contenders. Pretenders, Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have finished the last 3 seasons with identical 10-7 records and losses in the wild card round. In fact, their last 5 playoff appearances have ended with a loss in the wild card. That level of mediocrity led to the organization parting ways with the longtime head coach Mike Tomlin. After 19 seasons, it was time for a new voice of leadership in the locker room. Also, quick side note, since 1969, 57 years, the Steelers have had just 3 head coaches. Chuck Noll, who reigned for 23 years, Bill Cowher, who reigned for 15, and Mike Tomlin. In addition to the coaching changes, the Steelers were held hostage during free agency, waiting for quarterback Aaron Rodgers to decide if he's returning. Spoiler alert, he is. However, the man's 42 years old. He is not going to be getting better, even if he can make it through the season in one piece. Besides Rodgers, they're bringing almost the exact same unit as last year, albeit with some good minor roster tweaks. Pittsburgh wasn't quite good enough last year, and, well, they're not going to be good enough this year. Simple as that. Contenders, San Francisco 49ers. Much like the Ravens, the 49ers could be a contender or a pretender. The only thing really holding them back is health. This team has a history of losing key players for long stretches of the season or getting hurt and being forced out of big games. It's like this team is snake-bitten. Last season alone, they lost DE Nick Bosa, TE George Kittle, LB Fred Warner, WR Brandon Ayuk, and Ricky Pearsall, and QB Brock Purdy, among other injuries. That is a lot of manpower lost for a lot of games. And yet the 49ers still finished 12-5, and they made it to the divisional round before losing to Seattle. The good news for San Francisco is that all of those players, plus star running back Christian McCaffrey, are all expected to be healthy for 2026. Despite that projection, the Niners decided to bring in reinforcements by signing WR's Mike Evans and Christian Kirk. There's a lot to like about the 49ers heading into 2026. If they can just, stay on the field, then this certainly could be their year. Pretenders, Cincinnati Bengals. It's been 5 years since the Bengals lost the Super Bowl to the Rams to cap off the 2021 season, and it's been a few years since they've been a true championship caliber team. Part of that falls on the shoulders of the most important player on the field. If Joe Burrow is healthy, then hey, the Bengals are usually considered a contender, as he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But again, keyword there, when healthy. It's basically a 50-50 proposition if Burrow will make it through a season unscathed, as he's only done that 3 times in 6 years. Without him, the Bengals fell to 6-11 last season. Fortunately for Burrow's future health, the team went out and signed or drafted reinforcements for the offensive line. If Burrow stays upright and is given the time, he has a top pair of receivers to throw to in T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. However, there are still some weaknesses on the offensive line, issues on the pass rush, questions with the running backs, and of course, health issues at quarterback. Contenders, Denver Broncos. After last season, it is more than fair to say that the Broncos have arrived. If there was any question, it was answered with authority in 2025 when the Broncos took first place in the AFC West with a 14-3 record before losing 10-7 in an AFC Championship game slugfest to the Patriots. The first factor in Denver's favor for 2026 is that Bo Nix will once again be healthy. In addition to Nix's development, and to help him continue to improve, the front office brought in wide receiver Jalen Waddle from Miami, who in his first 5 seasons has flashed his 1,000-yard receiving ability 3 times. Defensively, the Broncos' defense is a ferocious unit that thrives on shutting down opposing offenses. All this comes together under the brilliant coaching of Sean Payton, who is one of the best in the game. The continuity of the head coach and of the roster also helps make the Broncos a true contender. Pretenders, Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota was an easy choice for the pretenders list. There were years under quarterback Kirk Cousins, running back Dalvin Cook, and wide receiver Justin Jefferson when the Vikings looked like true contenders. That is no longer the case. As Cousins faded out, Minnesota transitioned to Sam Darnold, and then in 2022 went all in on JJ McCarthy. That decision is what makes them a pretender. After 1 season, the Vikings moved on, for now, from McCarthy and brought in Kyler Murray, who the Cardinals decided it would be better business to cut Murray and endure a $35.5 million cap hit and pay him to play elsewhere. Quarterback is not the only area of concern with the Vikings roster. The defense is prone to being taken advantage of by a good running game due to a poor run defense. The offensive line has health and depth concerns, and besides their sometimes poor play, there are depth issues up and down this lineup. At least wide receiver Justin Jefferson is a joy to watch. Sadly, the Vikings are a team whose window may have closed before it ever truly opened. But hey, they do have the ability to crack it back open. It's just not gonna be this year. Contenders, Houston Texans. Since becoming a starter as a 22-year-old rookie, quarterback CJ Stroud has grown and begun to show the leadership and physical skills needed to lead a team to the Lombardi Trophy. The quarterback cannot win the Super Bowl by themselves, though. They've got to have help. And that's why the front office went out and rebuilt the offensive line, improved their running game by acquiring David Montgomery in a trade with the Lions, and more importantly, they reworked the contract of star wide receiver Nico Collins to make him financially happy. Their offense isn't their only weapon, though, as the Texans boast one of the top defenses as well. Pretenders, Carolina Panthers. Carolina snuck into the playoffs simply because that division needed a representative, and the Panthers were the best of the worst. There are good things happening with the Panthers, though. 25-year-old quarterback Bryce Young has shown enough in his first 3 years, especially last year, to convince convinced the organization and fans that the Panthers have their franchise quarterback in-house. The front office attempted to bolster the offensive line through the draft and improve the defense by adding linebacker Jalen Phillips to aid the pass rush. The new additions are nice and help out, but the squad still has weaknesses in the secondary, the defensive line, and lack of star talent. This is a team that is on the rise and improving quickly, but they're not there quite yet. They still have some holes to fill before they are a true contender. But hey, what NFL team do you think is a contender? What team do you think is a pretender? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.